Harry is reported to have been dating the US actress and model since May, and she is a passionate charity campaigner who, like Princess Diana, has looked out for those worse off than her. When your mother was the Queen of Hearts, the people's princess, it was always going to be nigh on impossible to find a woman who matched up to her. With her unique combination of glamour and humanity, Princess Diana is an unmatchable icon. Her campaigning against landmines, her empathy, and her closeness with AIDS patients defined her more than anything in her designer wardrobe. But after a succession of upper-class blondes, maybe Prince Harry has finally found a woman in the mold of his mum. Harry is reported to have been dating US actress and model Meghan Markle since May, shortly after meeting him when he was in Canada to promote his Invictus Games for disabled servicemen. She is at home in the glittering celebrity world. But she is also a passionate charity campaigner and a United Nations women's advocate, who, like Diana, has looked out for those worse off than her. Meghan says, "While my life shifts from refugee camps to red carpets, I choose them both because these worlds can, in fact, coexist. And for me, they must." The 35-year-old has a streak of compassion rare in someone in the public eye. Harry was 12 in 1997 when Diana died in a car accident. He has continued her legacy of humanitarian work around the world. He spends much of his time working for his Sentabal charity, for the orphans of Lesotho. Pictures of him laughing with the youngsters mirror those of actress Meghan on a recent trip to Rwanda with Charity World Vision. And like 32-year-old Harry, she says she has always felt on the outside of society, although for very different reasons. While his birth into the royal family was always going to set him apart, Meghan says being mixed-race left her struggling to fit in as a child. "I grew up in LA in a school that was diverse, but it was not really integrated, so I didn't ever fully fit in with the black girls or the white girls or the Latina girls," she said. Until now, Harry seems to have struggled to find a woman who embodies glamour and genuine compassion for those less fortunate than herself. Now a star of TV series Suits, Meghan grew up with a clinical therapist mum and lighting director dad, and credits her parents for helping her develop sympathy for others from an early age, saying, "My parents came from little, so they made a choice to give a lot." Recalling a pivotal experience when her mom took her to visit the slums in Jamaica, Meghan says, "I had never seen poverty at that level and it registered in my glazed brown eyes. Don't look scared, flower," she said. "Be aware, but don't be afraid." She has now vowed to use her fame to focus less on glass slippers and more on pushing through glass ceilings. This kind of attitude developed at an early age. Meghan was only 11 when she was so outraged by a sexist TV advert she was moved to write letters to movers and shakers to make a change. It marked the beginning of her campaigning. She reveals, "I was in my classroom at Hollywood Little Red Schoolhouse and a commercial came on for a popular dishwashing liquid. The tagline of the campaign said, 'Women all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans.' The boys in my classroom yelled out, 'Yeah, that's where women belong. In the kitchen.' My little freckled face became red with anger. I went home and wrote letters to powerhouse feminist attorney Gloria Allred, to a host of a kids' news programs, to the soup manufacturer, and to Hillary Clinton, who was our first lady at the time. With the exception of the soap manufacturer, they all pledged support, and within a few months, the commercial was changed to, 'People all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans.'" While we see the photo calls of Harry's charity work, much of what he does goes on behind the scenes, when he really likes to get his hands dirty. In the same way, Meghan doesn't seem to be all about self-publicity. As well as acting, and as a businesswoman with her own lifestyle website The Tig, she has made a hobby out of volunteering wherever she is living at the time, from soup kitchens in Toronto, where Suits is filmed, and where she takes leftovers from the lavish on-set catering. Meghan, who bears a resemblance to Pippa Middleton, is already said to have charmed the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, and motivated Meghan, who studied theater and international relations at Northwestern University and worked for the U.S. Embassy in Buenos Aires before the acting career took off, admits, "I've never wanted to be a lady who lunches, I've always wanted to be a woman who works." It's not the first time a royal has dallied with the world of showbiz, and comparisons will no doubt be drawn with Prince Andrew's ill-fated romance with American film actress Sue Stark. But royal biographer and editor of Majesty magazine Ingrid Seward says that Meghan's selfless interests will be an aphrodisiac to Harry. She tells the Mirror, "Meghan's keen charity work will be very appealing to Harry. I think he will also be attracted to her because she is so different from girls he has previously dated, plus she's glamorous and driven." With the pair being an ocean apart, the logistics of any relationship look to be an obstacle. Prince Harry was to visit Meghan in Canada on Sunday, due to fly from Heathrow Airport to Toronto, but after news of the romance broke, the plans changed. Ingrid says, "It is very difficult to have a far-flung romance. When one is in a morning mood, the other is in an evening mood, and it's hard to keep up." But Ingrid is firm in her belief that Meghan's mixed-race heritage wouldn't be a problem if Harry wanted to marry her. She says, "If Harry loves someone, I really feel that the royal family would embrace her, whoever she is. The world has changed so much, I really don't think it would matter where she was from. Except it is difficult for anyone coming into that royal family, especially someone who has had such a free life. Being royal is very restricting. I think she would find it harder to accept than her." However, with a mum who is African American and dad who is white, has talked about seeing racism directed at her mum. She recalls, "I was home in LA on a college break when my mom was called the N-word. We were leaving a concert and she wasn't pulling out of a parking space quickly enough for another driver. My skin rushed with heat as I looked to my mom. Her eyes welling with hateful tears, I could only breathe out a whisper of words, so hushed they were barely audible. It's okay, mommy." Ingrid doesn't think his family are pressuring Harry to settle down, as they don't want him to marry the wrong woman. She adds, "I don't think the royal family are putting pressure on Harry to settle down, only that he puts on himself. He's not the heir to the throne and he can just get on with his life. What the royal family don't want is for him to make a mistake." Meghan herself has already walked down the aisle once with U.S. Director Trevor Engelson, 40, in an intimate Jamaican ceremony, but divorced 3 years ago. She has since been linked to golfing superstar Rory McIlroy, 27, and Canadian restaurateur Corey Vitiello. Meanwhile, Harry has had a penchant for high society blondes, including Chelsea Davy, Florence Brunel Bruce and Cressida Benez, but has always resisted making any of them his wife. After cancelling his scheduled trip to Toronto, it's clear that Prince Harry wants to avoid any spotlight on the fledgling relationship, but if decides to pursue it to the next level, it's clear that Meghan would take it in her confident stride. She views her charity work as a public service, explaining, "My 11-year-old self would be proud, because while I may not have realized it at the time, I have always had a foot in the world of entertainment as well as the world of public service." She says her life now is just a more heightened version of what it was growing up, adding that it is a beautiful gift. Sentiments that Princess Diana would surely approve of.